Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about your December forecast. So, we're going to see what's going on in the month of December, what you should be aware of, what you should look out for, everything you have to look forward to. We're getting into all of it. And today we have a very December appropriate selection of Christmas cookies for you to choose from. So, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these Christmas cookies look the best to you, which one is standing out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description to get your reading. By the way, I always encourage people during the food readings just to choose the Christmas cookie that they feel the most drawn to energetically, the same way you would choose for any other pick a card reading, not necessarily the cookie that looks the most delicious to you or the one you would want to eat the most, but just the energy that is pulling you in. So with that being said, if you guys like how I read tarot and you want to access more of my content, then be sure to check out my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about what next actions should I take to be blessed, as well as who is coming towards you and why. But there is so much content to choose from over on Patreon. Like I said, tons of exclusive readings, and you also get early access to my YouTube videos. So you get to be the first to watch my YouTube videos over on Patreon. If that sounds good to you, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour session, a full hour-length session, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, just some open channeling, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to customize your session, so it's the perfect time for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a time slot with me. So that's about all I have to say, guys. If you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the King of Swords, the Eight of Cups, King of Cups, Five of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. So with the King of Swords and the King of Cups, first of all, this could be a great dating month for some of you guys. If you're single, you may feel like there are a lot of people who are interested in you, a lot of people who want to date you. I'm also feeling like this month you may have some demonstration of your own power. You may need to come to someone's aid, or someone may really rely on you or depend on you to help them talk through their problems. I feel like there's also an energy about you getting the credit you deserve. You may get some kind of recognition from others where they tell you, like, by the way, thank you so much for getting me through that issue, getting me through that problem. I'm also hearing the message that for some of you guys, this month is about accepting that you'll actually never get that recognition, but you do deserve it. So kind of paying attention to those situations where you feel really unappreciated, and maybe you have given a lot. Maybe you do feel like you're a backbone, because that's what I'm hearing is a lot of you guys really give and you add so much value. And I feel like this month in December is a month when you really feel that energy, or you start to pay attention to kind of like what you're getting out of it, or the level of appreciation you're receiving versus versus how much you do. So if you're not getting any appreciation, if someone is taking you for granted, that may be something that you really have to pay attention to. And with the Five of Wands, I'm also feeling a message that if something like that happens, it's almost like, I think so much of the time when we are in those unfair situations, there can be an energy of trying to get that person to see our value, trying to get them to realize, trying to get them to grow or change or, understand. And a lot of life is just realizing to cut your losses and be like, oh, okay, this isn't right for me. I mentioned it before that I think it's so funny how many like dysfunctional workplaces I worked in compared to like my friends or people who will be like, oh yeah, my office is having a big Christmas party and they're going all out, or we get free lunch. And then I think about the places that I have worked, or like I wasn't even allowed to take lunch. I didn't get paid for that hour, but I was expected to be in the office. I was expected to stay late, again, without pay, and so many crazy volatile situations. Anyway, I think when I think back to that, or like, well, why did I stay? Why didn't I just leave, or just say, oh yeah, like this is just clearly not it. Let me go find one of those jobs where I'm going to be compensated fairly and it's going to be a good working environment. And I think it's because I really thought, well, maybe I'm going to change it, or they're working on it, and maybe that's been the situation in the past, but if they see me and my coworker leaving early, they'll accept that that's what is normal. And of course, I'm sure none of those workplaces changed at all. I'm sure they're still on that same schedule. They're still doing the same thing. And I think sometimes we put so much energy into like trying to change a situation or hoping that person sees us, when the reality is most people are kind of living in their own world. They have their own perspective. They may have their own trauma or karma or whatever, and they may not ever be able to see us in the way we want. And so that's why it's just so much easier, instead of trying to twist someone, change them, help them grow, hoping they see us, that we just kind of like learn to move on, cut our losses, and find those people that will align with us, that will get us, that will appreciate us. And that's it. I have been watching these TikTok videos. And I don't know how it popped up on my For You page, but it's this lady who sells Birkins in London. And I don't know if you're on TikTok, you may have seen that. But anyway, and it's, she's showing off the bags, and they cost, like, I think some of them like 150,000 or 80,000. And even though they're beautiful bags, I'm sure if you took those bags to someone on the street and you tried to show them like the bag and say, well, what do you think this bag costs? They would probably say something like, a random person, like, I don't know, $200, or maybe if they really want to, bump up the prices, maybe 500, maybe even 1,000, but probably never, ever, ever could have imagined that the bags cost, $100,000. But for someone who's in the market for a Birkin, has that money, knows the value of a Birkin bag, they are more than willing to fork over that kind of money, right? There's a really strong market for those Birkins. It's not like they are sitting on the shelves and not selling. So my point in bringing that up is, so much of the time we think, well, I have to stay in this situation and maybe I can get this person to like me. And it's like trying to sell that Birkin bag to someone who has a budget of like $200. They're probably not even able to afford it, even if they wanted to, right? They're not gonna be able to be like, oh yeah, sure, actually, you know what, I'll just mortgage my house and I'll just buy that bag. Like, it's not even a possibility for them. It's not even on their radar. And it doesn't mean that bag has any less value, but it does mean that, that's not going to be the good option for you. And I think one thing to realize so much in life is that life is often about just learning to move where you're wanted, learning to move into those spaces that get you, appreciate you, understand you, will value you, instead of pouring your energy into a place that doesn't. And that's a message I'm feeling for a lot of you guys who picked Bio 1 in the month of December, is you may feel a little unappreciated throughout this month. There may be things that pop up that, just make you feel that way. I know, December is a difficult time with family for some people, if you're like going home for the holidays. And of course, if you're like a mom, I think it's normal to feel unappreciated. It's kind of healthy for kids to take their parents for granted at certain ages, because that's part of development. It is the job of the parent to like look after the 6-year-old. And it would be a little weird if the 6-year-old is like, Mom, thank you so much. Wow, you made me dinner. But so, I mean, sometimes you're just going to feel unappreciated, and that's normal. But I think this is a month for some of you guys where maybe just paying attention to your energy, how you feel, situations where maybe you are feeling a little unappreciated. And if those are relationships that can be negotiated, paying attention to that. And even if you aren't able to negotiate all of them, just understanding that you do a lot, and giving yourself that pat on the back, giving yourself that credit, so that at least that's something, at least you can tell yourself, yeah, I have done a lot, and, talk to yourself that way and keep track of that, even if you're not getting it from anyone else. I also think an important thing is understanding that how other people treat us doesn't dictate our value. Like I said, most people on the street would be outraged if they heard a Birkin bag was costing $200,000 or whatever. They'd think it was insane. And that's the thing. It doesn't have anything to do with the value of those Birkins. Still, the person who has enough money is still clearly going to want to buy that bag because they sell out. They're hard to get. There's a huge secondary market for them. So anyway, plenty of people do want to buy them regardless of what most people may think of it, that it's a ridiculous cost. So anyway, that's my point to you, is like your value is not changed no matter what kind of speech someone gives about, I would never pay that much for a bag, or that's a ripoff. It doesn't really matter. You have an intrinsic value and no one can take that away from you. And this could even be a message for some of you guys to just pay attention to how you're being treated within your relationships or within your friendships, and making sure that you're not pouring your energy into an empty well. When I look back at those jobs that I would work where, the funniest thing is those workplaces were super janky anyway. Like they weren't even making that much money. They weren't even that successful. And that's why they were penny pinching. And when I think of my friends that worked for like the best companies, yeah, they are going to go on like a, company bonding trip to Manhattan and get put up in a hotel, or they're getting to have a really lavish Christmas party and a huge bonus. And it's so funny because it's almost like the more successful someone is, the more powerful someone is, the more they're capable of recognizing someone else's value because there's a security there. And the more insecure you are, the more you have to penny pinch, the more you have to be like, well, I don't think you deserve a Christmas bonus because you didn't do this, And so anyway, I'm just saying to you guys, like if you really feel like a situation is not treating you with value, not treating you with respect, it's definitely something to pay attention to. And it's definitely something to not necessarily just overlook and accept the situation, and maybe consider where your energy is flowing, what you're getting out of that versus what you're getting back. Let me get into some more cards for you. Pile number 1 for the month of December. What cards do we have for pile 1 for the month of December? Let's see. Relaxation, peaceful pursuits, happy times. And this card says elementals, nature spirits, the 4 elementals. So elementals are really amazing entities. They include like fairies and elves and leprechauns and stuff. And I do feel like for you guys, there's an energy of kind of finding your playfulness back, or again, paying attention to those things that tamp down on your energy or make you feel drained or depleted. There's also that energy that if someone is habitually not getting you, or habitually kind of being depressing or just critical, or just they don't get your vibe, that again, I think Spirit is telling you to really make sure you're maintaining and honoring your own playful spirit. Those things that make you feel really good, things that make you feel happy, those things that make you feel peaceful and accepted and loved. And seeking out opportunities to do that. So maybe the message is, if you are going home for the holidays and you're dealing with like a really critical aunt that never has anything positive to say and is always criticizing, that, just watch your energy with her. Make sure you're not taking that on. And that's the thing. It is possible to interact with someone and really not intake their energy, to kind of keep a little bit of a wall up, to make sure you are maintaining your sense of self, and that person can say, think, feel whatever they want, but you don't necessarily have to take it on, take it in, or accept it. With the relaxation card as well, I do feel like there is that strong message to look after your own energy. Make sure you're not in any lopsided situations where you're pouring your energy out into someone else and not having it be reciprocated back to you. So that may be a major theme. It may be worth paying attention. Like if you always go to someone's house at the holidays and they always ask you to come up and help with the dishes, but they don't ask any of your brothers, or I don't know, they don't ask your siblings, or you're always the one like talking dad down because he's always in a grumpy mood. It may be worth just recognizing that dynamic and pulling your energy back and like not doing it and seeing what happens. I feel like this month could offer you a lot of great times to relax, a lot of great times to collect your energy back or enjoy, do the things you love. And I feel like Spirit is saying they want you to really do this. You may also be very creative this month. You may be feeling the instinct to write or create art in some kind of a way. You may have your mind being very active at this time, and you may really decide to do some creative pursuits. um, in your free time. I also feel like with the Eight of Cups, there is that message that if something is really not serving you, you don't necessarily have to stick around, stay in that situation. You don't have to put up with it or tolerate it or look the other way about it. If something is draining your energy, it's just enough for you to be like, I don't like this. Again, when I look back at jobs I worked where now I'm like, why did I stay working there? I think I felt a sense of obligation. I felt like, well, I can't leave, or things are going to fall apart if I leave, or, it's not that bad. Blah, blah, blah hasn't happened. So, whatever, we can get through it. And I look back now and I think if I just wasn't happy, like that's enough. That's a lot of times your spirit talking to you when you feel anxious, when you feel unhappy, when you feel unsettled, when you feel, worried all the time, or just, I don't know about this. That's also your body, your spirit, your energy speaking to you. And when you're in that really peaceful situation, you really do feel that sense of calm. So I just think this is your message to look after your peace. Maybe for some of you guys, you're even questioning, like, should I go home for the holidays? Should I just, I don't know, maybe I just want to be in my own apartment and do my own thing. And if you have been thinking about that, this could be your message that, yeah, go ahead, do your own thing. You have full permission to do what you want, and you don't have to be under any obligation to do something for someone else or that's going to make someone else happy. You need to focus and prioritize making yourself happy. Let's get into some more cards for you. Pile number 1 for the month of December. What messages do we have for the month of December? So we got up from the depths, releasing difficulty, and mindfulness, peaceful presence, quiet minds. One more card for pile number 1, Spirit. Conscious steps, considered action, looking forward. I love this. And to me, a lot of these cards have this theme of, again, I think just a lot of times being mindful with our actions, paying attention to what's going on. I think so much of the time we also just get into a routine. We just get into a habit. Again, not to keep talking about this, but also I think another factor whenever I've stayed in a bad workplace or another dysfunctional situation is like that feeling of habit or reliability, or like, well, I just wake up at 8 a.m. and I drive to my job. So what else am I supposed to do? Or I'm even like, I'm too busy. I can't find another job right now. I just have to stick this out. Or being in a relationship, feeling really attached to someone, not really being able to imagine anything else for yourself, and just being like, oh, well, this is what it is. And you almost fall into that energy of routine and just continue putting one foot in front of the other and doing the same thing. And it's hard sometimes to even imagine anything else. But the thing is, you can create whatever kind of a life you want. And it's very important to, again, be conscious of your energy, not just be falling into that unconsciously, not just be, stepping into an energy because it is what it is. This is what I do every Christmas, or this is just how it is in my household. Maybe it's really unfair. And every Christmas, I do all the buying the gifts, I do all the holiday preparation, and my husband just sits on the couch. But that's just how this is. And I'm just not even going to pay attention. That can be such a dangerous energy to be in. And it's really important to just be conscious, just to process what's going on, just to be aware, just to be mindful, even if that's just developing a meditation routine or just considering situations and really looking at them, not just living them and just kind of being caught up in life and just rushing through the motions, but really considering what's going on around me and how does it make me feel? How am I being treated? I also feel like with this releasing difficulty card, again, I think so much of the time when we accept a dysfunctional situation, it's because we just accept this idea. We have this idea ingrained in us that like, well, everything is hard. Again, back to those jobs. I think when I think about my mindset, I thought, well, I mean, everyone hates their job, so how could I complain about this? Now I look back and I'm like, those jobs were insane, and I should have obviously applied for something else. And I mean, why would I ever tolerate those crazy, janky workplaces? But I really thought like, well, this is just how it is. And I think that goes back to a scarcity mindset. And I see that in so many situations where people are putting up with bad relationships, bad jobs, bad living situations, bad friendships. It's almost like, well, yeah, every friendship sucks, or every relationship is hard, or every job is just really difficult. Everyone hates their job. That's just how it is. And part of that is like shifting your own mindset, your own ingrained beliefs from thinking that I just have to accept the bare minimum. This is as good as it gets. Life is difficult. Life is struggle, to life is abundant. Life is joyful. Life is amazing. Life is always delighting me and surprising me. Life gets so good. Life is incredible, and realizing that you can raise your own standards. You don't need to tolerate BS in a relationship, BS at a job, BS in a friendship. And again, even looking back, not just at jobs, but every bad friendship I've tolerated, or any kind of bad situation. When I look back, again, it usually comes back to as well a scarcity mindset, thinking that, well, I'm friends with this person. If I don't go out with her on the weekends, I might be alone, or I'm not going to have, like, I need her as a friend, and whatever, I'll just tolerate this. And maybe she's going to maybe she's going to treat me well. Maybe she's going to see my value after a while. And again, it's kind of like trying to sell a Birkin to someone for $100, or who thinks it's worth $100, who doesn't get it, who never will get it, who can't even conceptualize spending $100,000 on a purse. Why waste your energy in that way when there's plenty of people out there who are willing to pay the full price for it? And why waste your energy on someone that doesn't see your value and never will, and probably couldn't afford it if they tried? So let me get into these cards for you guys, some more tarot. So what's going to be happening for pile number 1 in the month of December, Spirit? Okay, we got the Magician card. Ooh, the 9 of Pentacles. There's definitely an energy of ease, sometimes even a little luxury around you guys. We got the Ace of Swords reversed. We got the Page of Pentacles. I'm also feeling like some of you guys, you may be making your New Year's resolutions this month. I feel like Spirit is telling me that 2025 could be a big year for you guys. There could be a lot that happens. And I feel like Spirit is saying that they really want you to, again, be intentional with your energy and to really pay attention to what you want to happen, to setting some goals, setting some intentions, and getting really clear again about the things that aren't serving you and the things that are. Like, you may even sit back and make a list of like things that stress me out in my life, things that bring me joy in my life, and then making it a commitment or a goal to step more into those things that bring you joy and less time on the things that stress you out. I'm thinking Spirit is bringing to my mind like a friend I had that she kind of really wanted to be my friend or wanted to be closer. And I just had this really strong feeling, like this intuition of like, no, just don't be friends. Just keep her at a distance. And she was always kind of asking me for advice, asking me to do tarot for her. And I would always feel so drained after we hung out. Like, I felt like I was giving her a lot of guidance. And I just felt like Spirit was telling me, don't sign up for this because it's just too much of a drain. So I didn't. And there was a part of me that felt bad. Like, I don't know, like she was always nice, whatever, but I felt such a strong intuition. And again, I think maturing is also giving yourself that permission that you don't have to sign up for anything that drains you, no matter how nice the other person is, no matter how much they've quote unquote done for you, no matter how many things seem to be logically pointing to like, well, you should be nice to this person. If you're just not feeling it and it's stressing you out, you have permission to remove that from your life. Again, I'm not talking about like parents to their children or something, which has a totally different dynamic, but I am talking about, if you are like, every time I go and visit my family for Christmas, I get so stressed. My uncle is always a total douche to me, and it just drives me up a wall. It's okay sometimes to put up those boundaries, or it's okay to pull your energy back and spend Christmas at home. Or if you're at a job and you just feel so stressed every time, it's okay to look for another job. You're never going to be stuck. Nothing in life is permanent. And I feel like a lot of these cards for you guys are pointing to that energy of being intentional with your energy and your time, and also with the 9 of Pentacles, to allow yourself to kind of rest, breathe, relax a little bit, take a step back, and allow yourself to be a little bit pampered this month. There could even be an energy around self-care, like doing skincare, a facial mask, getting a massage, being pampered in some way, even like just sleeping more, vegging out. There may be a lot of time for pause in the month of December. And I feel like Spirit is calling on you to really rest and really be willing to step into that, really be willing to give yourself that space if you do need it. If you do feel like I kind of need a pause or I kind of need a moment to myself, that's more than okay. And you should absolutely do that. Let me get some message cards for you. Pile number, oh wait, that's the wrong, that's the wrong deck. Okay, we need these cards. What are some messages for pile 1, Spirit, for this month of December 2024? Oh, okay. So we got We the Hathors, Deep Love, Mother's Milk, Birth as a Portal. This one says Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. Okay. And this one is The Blue Flame, Spontaneous Awakening, Activation, Integration Time. We get one more message for pile 1. This one says The Void, Stop, Embrace Winter, Great Cosmic Womb. And I love that card. I love that message. I always, say I'm like a winter girl. I love winter. I love what it represents. I love that it's a time to come back to ourselves, collect our energy, pause, step away from the activity of the world, and just kind of like set our goals, set our intentions, and get very crystal clear. I think it's because it's such a peaceful time that everything else kind of falls away. Like we're not as busy. We're not going as many places. We're a lot of times staying inside. Maybe we're cooking, maybe we're reading more. And so there's more time and energy to just put towards ourselves and to really pay attention to how we feel, which I think is so difficult sometimes in the modern world when we're pressured to be going all these places and doing all these things and super busy. And the most valuable thing you can do for yourself is to like develop a meditation practice or just spend time in touch with ourselves, listening to our inner voice, knowing how we feel when no one else is around, knowing how we feel when we're able to be focused on ourselves, take stock of our life, when we're able to even sometimes enter the astral plane, what's going on there, like when we're dreaming, whatever. But having that kind of point of reference of like, okay, so naturally in my natural state, I feel this. Or when I connect, when I pause, when I take a moment to breathe, I feel this way. That's such a powerful compass and tool to direct us to what's going on in our life. And if when we pause and we take that breath, we're feeling full of anxiety, full of stress, full of anger, full of any kind of lower vibrational emotion, it's very worth taking stock, paying attention to that, looking towards that, and then maybe trying to get ourselves into situations that serve us more, where we're feeling more emotionally aligned, happier, and a lot more peaceful. So this could be your call to really look into yourself. Like I said, there's a lot of energy around resting, relaxing, pausing this time. And you guys may feel very psychically tuned in. You may feel like you are getting a lot of different downloads and like you are able to just feel what's going on a lot more, or you're able to intuit some very deep meanings from your dreams. You're able to maybe even pull some tarot or oracle cards and get some really strong messages. I feel like you guys may feel very connected to your ancestors at this time. Given that it's the holiday season, some of you guys may be going home to visit some family members and whatnot. And I do feel like Spirit is calling you to, yes, honor those connections, feel connected to them. Also understanding that all your team on the other side, your ancestors, your angels, your spirit guides, they really do want you to live your best life that honors you. So it's not to say disrespect your ancestors, but also paying attention to your own goals, your own feelings, your own emotional state, your own journey in life, and not feeling like you need to sacrifice yourself as some kind of one puzzle piece, a part of a whole, or one kind of tiny little part of some larger group. It's like you are this individual and you have your own life to live, and make sure you are feeling honored, respected, restored, rested, and that you're honoring all those things. So that is the message I have for you. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. I just posted a reading all about what next actions should I take to be blessed, as well as a glimpse into your 2025. So if you want a preview of the year ahead, that's a great one to watch. But there is so much content to choose from over on Patreon, and you also get early access to my YouTube videos, so you get to be the first to see them over on Patreon. If that sounds good to you, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, whether you want me to do tarot for you, channel for you, do some astrology for you, you get to really choose what we focus on during your reading. If that sounds good, then head to the link in my description for briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Seven of Wands, the Princess of Pentacles, aka the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Six of Swords reversed, and the Chariot reversed. So it's super interesting. We have a card that's all about staying power, fighting, longevity, the Seven of Wands, and then we have two cards that symbolize leaving, and they're both reversed. So to me, this is a very clear message that there may be something that you're thinking about abandoning or running away from, or maybe something that's even difficult, and there may be something there worth fighting for, or there may be something there worth standing your ground, facing those challenges head on. For me, I've realized that sometimes my reactions to things like intuition, emotions, they all can get very clouded together, right? And that's why they're ruled by the same thing. In tarot, they're both ruled by cups, or in astrology, water. So our emotions can sometimes feel intuitive, or we can feel like we're getting a download, and maybe it's a trauma response, maybe it's fear, maybe it's anxiety. You know, for me, I always get super anxious before I go to bed for some reason. I have no idea why. And I think my mom even said, I even did that as a kid. She said I hated sleeping at night. I love to sleep during the day, and I'm still that way. Like, I really hate going to bed at night for some reason. I assume it's something having to do with like a past life, or I don't know, because I really can't think of why. It just freaks me out to go to bed at night, and I've tried to think about it, but I always just get like a rise in anxiety. It's almost like everything that bothered me throughout the day comes to my mind at night, right? And for me, when I get that feeling of like, oh, anxiety or freaking out, I've had to do a lot of unpacking that and realizing that sometimes like nothing is bothering me. It's just a feeling of like lack of safety. It's just this feeling I get. And again, I assume it's like past life stuff, because I really have felt this way as long as I can remember. And my mom said even when I was a little infant, I would do this. But I just do not like that's when the anxiety pops up. That's when anything I have been already. Sorry guys, I had to reset this because I actually ran out of space. But anyway, I cleared some space, so ready to film again. And what I was saying was, whenever I'm going to bed, I feel those anxieties, those problems, those stresses come to the forefront, right? And if I was really just going off that, I would probably think like the world was ending. I would probably think I mean, obviously most of the time it's not that bad. It's not like I'm like having an actual panic attack. But, you know, that's the time when things can just seem, oh, like I'm super stressed about this. And I actually had to realize that and kind of like dial it back. Like I realized I was amping myself up when I was going to bed. I was like allowing my mind to kind of fixate on certain things and whipping myself up into a frenzy. Like that's when I would get mad about something. That's when I would probably be prone to like write a crazy text or something. I wouldn't really send anything, but like that's when I would maybe start an argument or just be like in my feelings about something. And I had to realize some of that was coming from me. It's not to say like none of it's valid and that there aren't certain problems that maybe it's worth looking at, and like they become more visible when you're going to bed and your mind is clear. But also some of it was just my own anxiety. And why am I bringing this up? Because I think so much of the time, sometimes it's hard and it's tricky to sort out, but sometimes those issues that we're feeling, or those emotions, or the fear, or the negativity, or whatever, it can sometimes even come across like it's a valid problem, right? Like, okay, this is, I'm feeling anxious because I'm starting a new job. That means this job is toxic. Or like, I'm, nervous around this person because I'm in a relationship with them. And that means like the relationship is doomed. And, it could be. And that's why it's kind of tricky and hard to sort out. But that's why it's really important to kind of develop some kind of inner intuition and some kind of inner voice. And one thing about intuition is it usually comes across really calm. Because one thing I learned on the other side, or talking talking to people on the other side as a medium, is how calm they are, how chill, how like relaxed they are about even the biggest issues. And sometimes it can even be frustrating. Like if I'm doing a reading for someone, sometimes I'll bring up problems in their life and they'll be like, yes, that's exactly what I want to know about. So yeah, what is my grandmother saying about that? And I'm like, oh, she's not really giving advice. She just wanted to let you know. And the person will be like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I totally get that. But that's the thing, is like so much of the time on the other side, they're so chill about everything because they realize that like there's literally no way to go wrong, that we are souls that came to this planet to learn, to operate through different things. And in that sense, there's no like catastrophe. You know how most of the time we will freak out over the tiniest things? And on the other side, they have this perspective, kind of like older people as well. Most of the time when you're talking to like your grandmother or something, or you're talking to someone in a nursing home, and you tell them like, yeah, my crush, he didn't invite me to the school dance and I'm really upset. They're never going to be like, they did what? They didn't invite you to the school dance? Oh my God, this is so bad. That means like Jessica's going to think you're a total nerd. Wow. You're not going to have any friends then. You're probably never going to date anyone. Wow. That's just horrible. That's so embarrassing. This is the end of the world. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like they know, and they'll usually like laugh or be like, oh yeah, whatever. That's funny. Anyway, trust me, you're not going to remember that in even 5 years time, because they know how temporary it is when you're like 17 and you're heartbroken. And we all can look back to that and laugh about like the crush we had in middle school and how heartbroken we were when they like started talking to some other girl. And it seems so silly now, but at the same time, like in the future, you will realize all your problems are on that level. Even the biggest problems will seem so small in comparison. And anyway, I hope I'm making sense. But what I'm trying to say is, I do think sometimes we get a rush of fear or anxiety or nerves, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that's your intuition talking to you or that there's a major problem. Like I said, I feel like I get anxious so much of the time before I go to bed, and I've really had to like check myself on that and realize that kind of it's up to me. Like there were times when maybe I would try to talk through a problem right before we're going to sleep, or I would try to address something or fix something, and I would be like staying up late to fix it. And I had to realize like I'm throwing off my sleep schedule, and I'm sometimes throwing off other people's sleep schedule, and I need to just kind of come to that place of calm. And it's up to me to manage that. It's up to me to tell myself like, you're safe, it's okay, it's chill. And then once I do that, it's like, oh yeah, the problem a lot of times isn't that big of a deal. And if I leave it till the morning, then I can handle it in the morning when it's not like midnight and I have to wake up at 7 a.m. You know what I mean? So my point in all that is sometimes we have to accept that if it's a big new event, if there's something changing in our life, if there's some kind of new beginning, whatever is different, yeah, it's going to come across anxiety inducing, sometimes nerve wracking, but that doesn't mean there's no value there or we have to run away from that situation. Sometimes it's okay just to process that anxiety and be like, yep, I feel anxious. Yep, I don't know how I'm going to handle this. But you know what? I know I will handle it, and I know it's going to be okay. And again, in the way that kind of I feel the message coming from the other side is, there's no right or wrong. Like literally, it's kind of a trip to think like there's really there's nothing you could do that's that crazy, because I mean, everything is working out for some greatest and highest good. I truly believe everything is unfolding in a divine plan. Everything has the potential to even be alchemized for good. And I really do mean everything, even the most crazy event. So the point is, and I mean, there's so many stories about that, like someone who, had some horrible crime done to them or something. And then because of that, they end up like talking to other people, helping other people. Like yeah, even the most dramatic or horrible thing, I don't want to get into specifics, but my point is that knowing that the universe does have a plan, there's no need. The only energy for us to really be in is a place of peace, calm, understanding, and allowing changes to flow and welcoming that, like, the universe also will bring us certain lessons and changes, right? So the universe doesn't want us to sit in stasis. I mean, even for my Tauruses, the universe didn't design you just to come to this planet and sit on like a pillow and just chill and eat bonbons throughout life. We're always, this is a school, it is a lesson. And we may have certain different lessons we sign up for. Some people have an easier lifetime. Some people sign up for like the really intensive heavy duty lessons, but we all have lessons. We all have challenges. That's why we're on this earth and not on the astral plane, which is like so much better, so much easier, so much more pain-free and all that. So it's not even about, even if you make a so-called wrong choice that causes you pain, that's also for the purpose of your soul growth. So it's kind of like signing up for an extra hard class in high school. It doesn't mean that like you're failing, you ruined it. It means, yeah, I signed up for like a really difficult AP calculus and like I hated it and I'll probably never take that one again, but at least it's over. You know what I mean? So my point in all that is maybe just to be easier on yourself, or if you have been feeling a lot of anxiety about a certain choice, or like I have to make the right choice, or like I feel so nervous about this, just knowing that like it's all going to be okay. It really is all going to be okay. And sometimes it's worth looking at it because sometimes our intuition does speak to us and say, don't do that. Don't go that way. But usually intuition comes through pretty calmly. So if it is coming through loud screeching anxiety, that could also be, you know, that's not necessarily your intuition. It could be your emotions. I also think when we're changing certain paradigms, we can experience negative emotions. Like if we never experienced a really stable love, it can freak us out and we can want to run. Or if we never experienced something really good in our life, like a really good job, we might want to sabotage it. You know, it depends. I'm not saying you should, you know, overlook red flags, or if you're really feeling anxious and anxiety, that's not worth paying attention to. But it's also sometimes worth pulling back, taking a step back, and being like, okay, what's going on here? Because I feel like there's a message for some of you guys about sticking something out and really pushing yourself to deal with something. And the message from Spirit is almost like, this is not the time to run. This is not the time to flee or just to like, oh, I can't do this. But this is maybe the time to push through and to like challenge yourself and to see how strong you can be, you know, and to maybe even, like I said, kind of like put together, or maybe I didn't say this yet, with the Page of Pentacles, maybe putting together like some goals for the new year. Or it's not to say you have to accept the situation exactly as is. You can absolutely work to make different changes. But I feel like Spirit is saying that there may be something new that Spirit is bringing in for you in the month of December. And it's okay to give yourself that time to deal with it. Or it's okay to accept that like maybe you don't have it fully figured out yet, but trust me, you will, and you don't have to be afraid. So I hope that makes sense. Let me get into some more cards for you. Pile number 2. Okay, pile 2 messages. So we got Wisdom of the Magi, mental clarity. This one says Archangel Raziel, wisdom, inspiration, Akashic records. What is happening for pile number 2 in the month of December, Spirit? Journey guide, travel, change in location. Teacher, learning a new path. And let's get one final card for pile 2. This one says divine presence, the force of love and creation. Beautiful. So I love this journey guide card, travel, change in location. And that's the thing, is like so much of the time we learn from those challenges. The thing that, you know, the reason why Sagittarius, which is a highly spiritual sign, is connected with the 9th house of travel and also higher learning is because we learn so much through traveling. And it is because it's totally new to us. It's because we may not speak the language, or we may not know the food, or we may not know anything about the country. And that's a part of the challenge. And sometimes when we are embarking on something new, it's like that burst of anxiety you get when plane is taking off, that doesn't mean that something bad is going to happen. Actually, air travel, I think, is the absolute most safest form of travel. Like, no contest, nothing else could even compare to how safe um, air travel actually is. And I do feel like for you guys, the message is you may be embarking on something super new and exciting, especially in December, or maybe in your life, you're called to do something that, like I said, feels like a challenge, feels like a bit of a change. It may be something that is challenging you in some way. It may be something that at this point you're kind of not sure how is it going to work out or what exactly is going to happen. But I do feel like you guys are so well equipped to handle this. You guys are so incredibly capable of dealing with this. And with the Akashic records highlighted, you may have even signed up to deal with this in past lifetimes. That may be something that you made a pledge to, that you want to deal with this, you want to figure this out, you want to learn this lesson. And sometimes, especially, we get anxiety when we're challenging something that has to do with our South Node, with something we have dealt with in past lifetimes. We may not have mastered this in another lifetime. So it may be something that is really, we decided, handling issues in the South Node are way easier most of the time than handling issues in the North Node, even though the North Node is what we're supposed to step into and it's technically a much more positive energy. But for most of us, we feel so much more comfortable dealing with South Node stuff than we do dealing with our North Node, okay? That's where we're like a little out of our depth. So it's almost like that past life, what we're used to, what we already graduated from, we're gonna feel way more comfortable in that space when we're really challenging ourselves and we're really stepping into destiny. Sometimes that's where it gets really hard and we may feel like we kind of are out of our depth or we don't know what we are doing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing or that we're in the wrong place. So I feel like you're really getting that message that if you're forging this new path, if you're doing something that is changing yourself or pushing yourself, then definitely just trust this process. Because I do feel like you're very guided, you're very supportive right now. Archangel Raziel is an angel that deals with psychic abilities, manifestation, clairvoyance. So you may be very psychically tuned in the month of December. You may be getting downloads. I feel like there's something very sacred happening around a lot of you guys who picked this pile. So you may be really feeling like you're going through a major change. You're going through some kind of major life transition. And again, I feel like for some of you guys, this is actually fulfilling a destiny. Maybe there could be something very impactful happening for you in the month of December. Maybe there could be a major life shift. And I feel like this may come in the form of something that you're not quite looking for and you're not quite like, okay, this was exactly what I wrote down. But I feel like it's something that is perfectly suited to your goals as a spiritual creature because Raziel is really a super spiritual angel. Obviously, all the angels deal with spirituality in different ways, but Raziel really helps us with our spiritual abilities, like our psychic abilities, clairvoyance, manifestation, everything esoteric, doing magic, all of that. And I do feel like it in the same way, like you write something down on your vision board, but it's not up to you to figure out how that happens. This may be something that is so big for you that you committed to, that you wanted to learn. And maybe it doesn't make sense exactly in the way that you were like, no, this would be perfect. Oh, I hope it happens that way. But it's still going to be so amazing. It's still going to be something you're so happy about. I also feel like the message I'm getting, I was just going to say something. Oh, yeah. Um, oh, yeah. So I mentioned this on my Patreon the other day, but I was going through old bookmarks on my computer, like organizing stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, this bookmark's old. Like I didn't realize, I hadn't gone through my bookmarks in a while. So I was kind of clearing it up. And I realized I had put down this beautiful house I saw that I just thought was so pretty. You know how sometimes you see something and you're just like, oh my God, that's so me, or I love that style or whatever. And so even though there was really no point to that, I just kind of saved it to my bookmarks, maybe vaguely manifesting it or just being like, wow, I want to be able to look up that house all the time because I love it. And then I didn't really ever click on it. It was kind of buried down in my bookmarks. And I don't usually save anything like that to my bookmarks. They're pretty I guess useful or yeah, like usually I'm not saving stuff that's like pretty or anything like that. I'm just saving stuff I need, like my mail inbox and that kind of a thing, my YouTube studio and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so this one I saved And I recently clicked on it because I was like, oh, what is this? And I realized this house that I had saved is in a city I had moved to and lived in for like a year. And I ended up not loving the city, so I did end up moving out. But I think that was such an important part of my journey. And what I realized was that's crazy that that house was in the exact city I moved into. I didn't even put two and two together. When I moved there, the last thing I was thinking of was that house. Definitely was not on my radar. And obviously, I unfortunately did not move into that house. I moved into like an apartment. But the point is I thought that's so crazy because I've had so many experiences like that where I write something down or I put it on a vision board. I kind of forget it. I'm not really putting energy in, and then it comes true. And maybe you don't even notice it at the time. And I do feel like there's a message for some of you guys that maybe this is something you don't even know was on your vision board, or something you wrote down a long time ago, or something that your soul was really craving, and it's actually happening and coming true for you, and it's a really good thing. And you may not have noticed that. Like there's a part of you that may have just been like, oh, whatever. But this is going to be so useful, so helpful for you. So I do feel like whatever change this is, it is a beautiful thing. And it is that message to kind of stand your ground and not be afraid to fight. Don't feel like you have to run away from whatever this is. Let me get into some tarot for you as well. Pile number 2. So let's see what the cards say for pile 2. Okay, so we got the 8 of Swords reversed. Okay. The 7 of Wands, or the 8 of Wands reversed. Okay. Interesting, the 7 of Wands reversed. So we got the 7 of Wands upright. Now we have the 7 of Wands reversed. And the 10 of Pentacles. So I guess maybe this is Spirit's way of tempering the message. I always want to be clear because I think sometimes, messages can get lost in the fray. I'm never saying for someone to like overlook a red flag, or if your intuition is really screaming at you about something or telling you something is wrong for you or telling you something is the wrong path, then definitely listen and pay attention to that, and don't feel like you have to stick it out in a situation that is completely toxic where you feel awful. But I also think there's something to be said for, again, challenging yourself, living things day to day, kind of like breathing through it, just being calm, just being like, I trust the universe, I trust this plan. And a lot of times you may find that if you can stay in that energy, if you can, because honestly, again, like I said, intuition usually doesn't come through loud and fearful and manic and panicked and, freaking out. Intuition usually comes in a very calm way, in a very quiet way. It comes as a bit of a whisper, and it really does know that everything that is unfolding for us is working out for our greatest and highest good. So it's never that message to stay in a toxic situation or something where you really feel unhappy, because of course we get this beautiful lifetime. There's a limited time on earth, and yes, we're here to learn lessons, but we're also here to be happy. So I think also one of the best things to pay attention to is your happiness levels. Are you feeling really happy? Are you feeling fulfilled? Are you feeling joyful? Are you feeling satisfied with where you are? Do you have a sense of calm? If so, and you're still getting anxiety because you don't know how it's going to unfold, then you're exactly where you should be. And don't be afraid to take on some kind of a new challenge. Don't be afraid to push yourself a little bit, and definitely be aware of any tendency you may have to run away or to avoid certain situations because they're out of your depth or they're new to you. So, those new challenges can sometimes bring the absolute most satisfying things in life. So, like I said, don't be afraid, even if you feel yourself being a little bit challenged by something. And I feel like for you, there may be something you're stepping into that's going to bring you a lot of success with that 10 of Pentacles. There could be success happening for you in the month of December. I feel like you're also learning a lesson, a lot of you guys who picked this pile, in learning how to receive, learning how to accept the good, learning how to welcome in blessings, and learn that you deserve that. Learn that you deserve to feel happy and fulfilled and joyful and excited about things, and learn that, you deserve to have all the good things in life. Let me get also some message cards for you. Pile number 2. Let's see. What messages do we have for pile 2? So we got Angels of the Seven Chakras, Power, Truth. Wait a minute. This is not the right pile, but we will tuck that over on the side. Angels of the Seven Chakras. Okay. Those decks look so similar. They're like the same color, so I always confuse them. But this is the deck we wanted. But this one says Power, Truth, Connection. Let's see. This one says you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. I am sorry. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting. What messages do you have for pile number 2? The great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Double mission, lightworker, starseed, serve the world by being you. And finally, trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. I love that. Again, I think the biggest thing you can do in your journey in life is just to trust the place you're at. It doesn't have to make sense now. You don't have to know what's going to happen at every step along the way. Trusting that mission, trusting the timing, trusting the things that are divinely unfolding. And sometimes when something is divinely anointed for you, it is going to feel a little crazy because you didn't go into it with your own actions, right? You didn't put it together, so it can feel a little strange, a little unfamiliar, a little nerve-wracking, because it may be something that spirit set up for you rather than something you set up for yourself, which a lot of times we can figure it out. Like if it's kind of like if we set up for the party, we know exactly what's going to happen. We know the timetable of when someone's popping out behind the cake to say surprise. We know when the dinner's going to be served. We know what we're going to be eating. But if we go to someone else's party, we don't necessarily know any of those things. We don't know what we're going to be eating for the main course, what the dessert is, what kind of music they're going to play, what the environment is going to be like, whether they're going to allow smoking inside the party or you have to go outside to smoke, or I don't know, all these random details, right? We're not going to know all of those, but that doesn't mean that we have to, even though it may bring up some panic, like technically we could fall into panic, like, oh my God, what if they serve something I hate? But the reality is the best thing you can do is like enjoy the party, enjoy the place where you're at. I hope that isn't too silly of a metaphor, but sometimes in life, we definitely can fall into that energy of being control freak, trying to figure out everything, trying to micromanage, figure out every detail, especially when it's a big change, especially when it's something new and exciting. And I really do feel like that message for you in the month of December is about allowing things to unfold, allowing things to be what they are, not getting anxious, not getting anxiety, but just trusting the process and trusting yourself and your guides, your angels. You are not alone in this. You have so much divine support and help around you. And trust me, it is going to be okay, even if it's a little scary right now. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 2. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my readings, be sure to head to my Patreon. There are over 100 exclusive readings, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about what next actions should I take to be blessed, as well as one glimpsing into the beginning of 2025. So if you want a little look at the year ahead, that's a great one to watch. But there are so many readings over on Patreon, and you also get early access to my YouTube videos. So you get to be the first to watch them. If that sounds good to you and you would like to join me over on Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, a combination, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, just some channeling, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Wheel, the Ace of Swords reversed, the Princess of Cups reversed, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. So this could be a really exciting month for you guys. There definitely could be some traveling happening in the month of December. With the Wheel and the Princess of Cups, Page of Cups being reversed, I also feel like there may be an encouragement at you to be really bold this month and to be unafraid. So if there's been something you've been wanting to do and maybe it's a little outside your comfort zone, I feel like Spirit is calling on you to do this. And there may be a lot of time that you spend outside the home. So this may not be the month to just be a homebody, just be chill. This may be the month to literally like physically use your body, go work out, go explore, go walk around a new city, go fly on a plane somewhere, or even just thinking about that, thinking about ways you can broaden your horizons. If you've been craving some adventure, craving something new, this could be a really beautiful month to step into that, to do that, to go on a trip, or to start planning those things, looking towards the future. If you've been feeling like stuck, stagnant in your life somehow, or like you really don't like your job and you would like to do something a little more challenging or something, again, this could be a really lovely month for you to do that and for you to start thinking of those things. I feel like for you, again, there's an energy around physically using your body and pushing yourself in that direction, not necessarily just being very mentally focused, but also, there's possibly an energy around you of just not waiting for the download. Sometimes I think we are always sitting around waiting for like, okay, let me know, let me wait till I figure this out. And sometimes the best thing in life is to do it like before you're ready. So if there's something that you've been wanting to do, but you don't know if you're ready, this could be your message of like, just go for it. That having that optimism of like Sagittarius, Jupiter energy, where they just like rush into things. Both Pisces and Sagittarius, both Jupiter ruled signs do this. Sagittarius, for sure, being fire ruled, definitely rushes into things and they have this innate optimism. Both the Jupiter ruled signs, Pisces and Sag, definitely are optimistic and they just kind of like expect things to work out. And a lot of times they do. You know how you have that friend who's just always like, it just magically works out for them and they're very like type B, or they forget their wallet, but it's okay because someone paid for their meal, or they, oh my God, I didn't bring my passport to the airport, so I ended up like missing my flight. But it was crazy because I met this guy at the airport and then he told me about a train ride and we ended up riding the train together. So I got to the place, but we took the train. It was so much fun. And you know what I mean? You know how you have friends like that? To me, that's the energy I'm kind of getting, is like this incredible Sagittarian optimism and like not feeling like you have to micromanage every detail or you have to figure everything out this month, but just like going for it, just doing it, just trusting the process. It's just trusting that everything is going to be okay. And I honestly think that's one of the most abundant energies you can have, is when you're really in an energy of just expecting everything to work out, maybe using that as a mantra, that the universe is conspiring in my favor or everything is working out for my greatest and highest good. And that can be so powerful. I often think, I think the best dating advice that I think of, me personally, and I'm not saying I'm an expert, but is just focusing more on the moment of like having fun. Like, so many people will say, I met my husband or I met my soulmate when I stopped looking. And I think a lot of that is just because it's not that you can't be looking. But when you're in that energy of just like enjoying yourself, like dating for the purpose of enjoying yourself, having fun, having some stories to tell, like not when you have this very serious intention, then sometimes it can be off-putting. Like it just kind of drives away the abundant energy of the universe when you're super serious about something. Like, think about two people going to a party. One person is there to network. They're really serious about making a good impression. They're really serious about making sure everyone likes them, talking to the important people, making sure that, they get some contact. Like, what's your Instagram? Oh, let me follow you. And trying to like make some friends, and that energy can come off very strong and you can feel very driven away from that person, even if you thought, oh, they were really nice. There's something about that kind of desperate energy, that energy that's so intentional, that can be very like, whoa, okay, that's off-putting. Whereas think about that person in the party at the party who's just like dancing by themselves or just like over by the hors d'oeuvres, eating what they want, being like, oh, this is a really good cream puff. Yum. And like really having fun, dancing to themselves, talking to people and laughing and just like enjoying. And that person, you're so much more magnetized. There's some kind of magic in that. There's a magic in enjoying the moment and just kind of like trusting that process. And I feel like that's what Spirit is calling on you to do in this December. Maybe you have been overthinking about certain things. Maybe you have been in your head about certain things. And with that Ace of Swords reverse combined with the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like this is your message to just like go with the flow and have that energy of trusting it, trusting the process, and knowing it's going to work out for you. Let me get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 3. What is going to be happening for pile 3 in the month of December, Spirit? What's going to be happening for pile 3 in the month of December? So we got Shamanic Healer, Cleansing, Attunement. Okay. Let's see what else. This one is Animal Totems, Animal Energy, and Powers. Okay, let's get a couple more cards for you. Pile number 3 for the month of December. This one says Relaxation, Peaceful Pursuits, Happy Times. I love the vibe of this guy on this card. He just looks so chilled, so laid back. That's very Jupiterian as well. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is that message that Spirit is calling on you to just relax, just enjoy, just be in the moment this time. Maybe not to be panicked or freaking out or thinking of every outcome, but just to be literally living in the moment, relaxing, enjoying, maybe making the most of this December. If you are spending time on the holidays with your friends, maybe this, or your family, maybe it's not about like getting Thanksgiving perfect or making sure everything is right for Christmas, but just like enjoying and watching your favorite Christmas movies and, setting out like the food you like. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you really feel like not cooking, then you can get takeout or something. You know what I mean? But just like living and being present in the moment. I also feel like that's a theme for you because you may look back at this time in your life and be like, that was such a fun, special time in your life. I feel like December could be very abundant for you. There may be a lot of parties. There may be a lot of excitement. There may be a lot of new people that you're talking to or people that you're meeting. And I feel like Spirit is saying, take this for what it is, which is a positive sign that you're on the right track. Again, I feel like what I'm being brought to is like when it comes to like dating, so many people can be like, oh, I'm so upset because I feel like, I met this guy, we really hit it off, I felt such a connection to him, and I'm so upset because it didn't work out with him. And to me, I always see that as a huge green flag that you're heading in the right direction. And why? Because I really do feel like the universe gives us glimpses. I always said that. I think the universe, before it makes a major change, at least for me, tends to give me a glimpse into the future, almost like an hors d'oeuvre. Like at a dinner party, they'll give you a little appetizer or a little hors d'oeuvre just to whet your appetite. And then that's not the full main course. It's just a little glimpse. It's just to get you a little hungry, get those digestive juices going, and to kind of like get things started. But it's not the full thing. And no matter how delicious you think that hors d'oeuvre is, you wouldn't like panic or freak out because they're taking away the little canapes. You'd be like, oh, I know we're getting like a real thing. I know we're getting the roast chicken or the steak or the pasta dish or whatever. So who cares? The canapé was good, but there's going to be something even better. And you'd be very chill about it. And by the same token, I often think when someone says, I don't know, I met this guy, he was so great, we had a fantastic time together, we dated for 2 weeks, but he ghosted me and I'm so upset, I was so attracted to him. I feel like, wow, if you can handle that situation correctly and alchemize it, you may be in line to meet the love of your life. Because a lot of times I think you get, like I said, a little glimpse. And if you can stay in that abundance mindset, if you can take it as, wow, I met this guy, he was so cute, I had such a good time with him. And that shows that I can feel this great attraction. That shows that I'm aligning myself with fun connections, with beautiful people, with exciting people, with an exciting life, with joy, with happiness, with fulfillment. And you can take it like that. Take it as a positive. Take it take it as a good thing, then trust me, you are going to be energetically aligned with meeting someone else that is your soulmate, that is going to have more longevity to it. But it really does depend on your reaction. If you take it as like, oh my God, everyone leaves me, no one wants me, oh my God, I always get left, then that will be energetically fulfilling. That will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So then you will end up driving someone else away, and you'll be really serious, really intense on your next date. If you take it as like, that was so much fun and I had a really great time, and I love dating. I always have something out of it. I'm great. I'm glad I got to experience that person as a soul. Although if someone ghosts you after 2 weeks, that's kind of mean. So I don't know how great of a soul they have. But anyway, if you can take it as a positive and be like, wow, it was fun, it was fulfilling, it was what it was, then you're going to be energetically aligned in that positive mindset, in that happy mindset, and able to welcome in something new. So again, practicing non-attachment, that's also very Jupiterian, very Piscean. This is why people can say that people who have Jupiter placements, be it Sag or Pisces or just prominent Jupiter, can have attachment issues or be very like non-committal and be players. Because they really do trust in the abundance of the universe. And when you really trust in the abundance of the universe, and you know that the universe always has something new around the corner, a lot of times you don't fixate on one person. You don't get freaked out because one person doesn't like you, because you know there's plenty of other people who will like you. You don't get super stressed out about the place you live because you know you can travel to somewhere new or you can move somewhere new. You don't freak out about the bad job because you know there's other beautiful jobs for you to go work at. So that's the thing, is maybe sometimes this is about a mindset shift for some of you guys, or maybe you're already embodying this energy and life is just about to get so good for you, because I do feel like a lot of you guys are stepping to like a fun, free, exciting energy. Let me get into some more cards for you. Pile number 3. What is happening for pile 3 in the month of December? So we got thought vibrations, resonant choices, signature signals, and beneath the surface, hidden truths, something unknown. So you guys may be very psychic at this time in your life as well. You may really be getting a lot of downloads. You may be very aware of other people's thoughts, other people's emotions, and you may even be aware of certain hidden truths. This could be a holiday season or a month for you when a lot gets exposed or a lot of things get revealed from under the surface. So if there have been any family secrets, if there have been any little hidden things that went unsaid, things that people didn't want anyone to know about, things that maybe people were keeping to themselves, that may come out and be exposed in this month of December. And you may end up learning quite a lot about different situations that maybe in the past you were kept in the dark about. I also feel like there's an energy of you being very perceptive this month, seeing things very deeply, looking into things deeper than you did in the past, noticing things more than you did in the past, and being very tuned in and turned on and just able to perceive things that maybe in the past they missed you. I feel like a lot of you guys have been doing a lot of spiritual work, a lot of shadow work, and it really is paying off, and you are someone who is very spiritually aware at this time. This also could be a great month for you to do some kind of a home cleansing, maybe with some sage, and then going over it with Palo Santo to bring in some new fresh energy. I always think like spring cleaning is great, so is winter cleaning, fall cleaning. Throwing open the windows when your room gets a little stuffy. Sometimes someone will be like, oh, I'm just depressed and I'm stuck in my apartment. And if you have a really dark apartment and there's no sunlight and there's a lot of clutter, that contains spiritual energy as well. So it's important to keep your space relatively clean. Make sure you're throwing the windows open. Make sure that you are letting the light in, letting some fresh air in. That allows things to circulate and leave your apartment as well. So negative energies to leave and positive energies to come in. And you can be very intentional when you cleanse. Sometimes when I'm cleansing, I banish everything. I banish, anything, negative thoughts. I banish anxiety. I banish, any kind of poverty energy. I banish envy. I banish pretty much anything negative I can think of. So don't be afraid when you're cleansing to be very intentional with it and to just get it all out, and then you can again bring in some beautiful incense like Palo Santo or Nag Shambra or something to bring in some more positive energies, higher vibrational energies as well. Let me get into some more tarot for you. Pile number 3. What is happening for pile 3 in the month of December? What is happening for pile 3 in the month of December? So we got the 6 of Wands. Okay. The the 4 of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Hierophant reversed. Wow. So this could be a great month about, first of all, it could be a great month for romance. This could be a great month for dating. If you are single, you may have a lot of admirers this month. And I also feel like it could be a great month to deepen your relationships. If you are in a relationship or even reconnecting with like family members you haven't seen in a while, friends, it could be a really great month to spend time with the ones you love. I also feel like with the Hierophant reverse, it could be a great month for stepping away from anyone who's kind of trying to control you, anyone who's in a power position. And again, realizing your own power, your own freedom, and your own independence, realizing that you have the potential to do whatever you want. With the 4 of Pentacles, it can also be paying a lot of attention to kind of like work-life balance, how much work you've been putting in or how much time you've been giving to something. I also feel like there's an energy of a bit of a payoff happening for you in the sense of maybe achieving certain financial goals, certain career goals that may have seemed a long way off, but you're able to do them, you're able to get them done. And that could be very exciting for you guys. I feel like for you guys, this is a month that's really about also getting very clear on your values as you step into and as we lead into the beginning of 2025, the new year. It could be a great month for you to make a list on certain goals, dreams. I feel like you are very good at manifesting at this time. For whatever reason, you're just a very powerful manifester and you're able to really kind of ask for what you want and actually make that happen in a way that maybe was just not the case earlier. Maybe there was a time when you just weren't as capable to make these dreams happen or to bring something into reality. And I feel like right now, you're super spiritually aligned, you're super close to the other side, and you're super capable of kind of asking your guides what you want. So this could be, like I said, a really great month to put together a vision board or for you to write down a list of goals, for you to create some kind of vision for your future, because I feel like it's almost like the words you write down at this time, they are going to come true, they're going to happen, and you're able to really be conscientious about that and kind of make it a reality, not just a dream, but make it into a physical reality. So yeah, creating a vision board, creating a list of goals for the new year, I feel like is going to be something you should definitely be doing this month because you guys are so aligned. I also feel like you, again, like I said, some of you guys are going to be noticed at your job in a new way this month. Or if you don't have a job right now, this may be an excellent month for you to apply to jobs, for you to get attention from your boss, or for you to get some kind of a pay raise, promotion. I also feel like with the 6 of Wands, you may be showing off on social media, or people may just be noticing your social media a lot this month. They may be seeing what you're posting and very impressed by it. And this could be an incredible month for celebrating, going to parties, and really just enjoying. I feel like this is going to be a super fun month for most of you. Spirit is also showing me someone redoing their wardrobe or going shopping and picking out new things. I feel like your style is going to be on point this month as well, because I feel like you guys are super creative at this time. So you're not just kind of going to these parties or going through the same motions. I feel like some of you guys are really transforming and you're willing to step into your power. You're willing to step into a higher version of yourself that maybe was a long time coming. Like it's almost like, what's the best version of me that I could be? Or how can I embody something that maybe at a certain point seemed a long way off? You know, like maybe for the longest time you wanted to rock a certain style or wear a certain outfit, but then you were like, no, I can't dress that way, or people are going to judge me. Or maybe there was a job you wanted to go out for, but you were like, no, but I don't know, I'm not good enough. I don't have that on my resume. And this is the month when you have that boldness. I really feel like boldness, that would be the theme. That would be the key word for you in the month of December. This Sagittarius energy around you, Jupiter energy, is so bold. It's so unafraid. It's just like, just do it, just go for it. So any fears that have kept you held back in the past or made you doubt or question yourself, that is going out the window in December. Let me get into some message cards for you. Pile number 3. So we got the Cosmic Heart, Devotion, Potency, Make Your Life a Moving Prayer. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, we have 2. This one says the 7-Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, Expression. This one says Whale and Orca Elders, Share Your Song, Frequency of Sound, Diving Deep. And let me get 2 more message cards for you. Pile number 3. This one is A New Earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. And Messenger, Serious Energy, bringing harmony and balance. So I do feel like there is something really exciting happening around you guys. It feels like this is just like you're very activated at this time. Everything is very flowing for you in the right direction. This is a month when like literally your dreams could come true. You could make things happen that maybe have been a long time coming or you always wanted, but it seemed like impossible. It seemed like you couldn't do it. I feel like as well, you guys are very tuned in with your ancestors, with your elders, with people from the past. There may be someone who's slightly older that you could learn from. There may be someone that you align with this month that could teach you a lot or could kind of mentor you in this field. This could even be a month for you. Again, keeping in mind Jupiter energy rules the 9th house of higher learning, higher education. This could be a month for you guys when you decide to go back to school, when you decide to sign up for a course or take some kind of new learning, download a book that's very impactful for you, or even like take on a project that involves kind of like a higher challenge to yourself, right? So like maybe you decide that you've always been into tarot, but you are going to pull a tarot card for yourself every morning, or you are going to sign up to give free readings at some party or something. But you're going to really take this seriously. I feel like you are stepping into a level of mastery with your career or some kind of hobby. And like I said, you're taking it more seriously than you have in the past. I feel like this is a month that if you guys play it well and into the new year, this could lead you to a lot more abundance. This could actually lead you to fulfilling certain dreams and making certain things happen for yourself that seemed a long way off. Like it's almost like you're going to be able to jump timelines or speed up certain goals, dreams, and manifestations because you are going to be able to, like I said, make that happen or just kind of like push things forward in a way that may have seemed impossible, that may have seemed like, that's going to take me 3 years and it takes you 6 months. Or maybe you were earning a certain amount of money and you're able to just absolutely triple it, and certain financial things that seemed a long way off start to happen for you and start to become a reality. I also feel like you can really bond with especially siblings and friends this month. It may be a really fun time to just be playful, go out to the movies, enjoy, connect with people from your past. Especially I'm seeing someone who has like a really goofy relationship or the same sense of humor and just like getting together to laugh, getting together to have fun, getting together to like enjoy each other's company and in a very not so serious way. Some of you guys, they want me to tell you that you're really witty, you're really funny, and they kind of want you to give yourself credit for that. Like maybe the people in your life don't give you credit for how funny you can be and how charming, how lighthearted, how exciting you are to be around. And this is that message from Spirit, just to like know that your company is so appreciated. You bring this special spark and light to every party. So make sure you pay attention to that and make sure you kind of give yourself that credit. Not everyone can light a party up or make others have fun the way you can. And I feel like your most exalted energy, one of the most powerful energies you personally can be in, is when you're just enjoying, when you're laughing, when you're having a good time. Obviously, everyone excels in different areas, and some people excel when they're really serious, when they're just pushing themselves and they're going really hard and They are, really looking at things through a very like tough lens, and I don't feel like that's your lane. Like I feel like your energy is silly, goofy, very Jupiterian, very lighthearted. Jupiter placements, Pisces and Sag can be like the comedians of the zodiac, and I feel like you have this Jupiter spark in you where like you don't take things too seriously, you are lighthearted, there is something easygoing about you, and I really feel like Spirit is telling you to seek out things that make you feel this way this month, whether it's watching a comedy, whether it's hanging out with like your funny friend that you always get into mischief with, whether it's just like whipping up some cookies, even though maybe you should be eating healthy. It's like, let's just make some fun Christmas cookies. I feel like that playful, youthful energy is really going to be exuding from you this month, and it's going to be key for your abundance. Keeping in mind, Jupiter is a wealth planet that magnifies and gives us abundance. It expands everything it touches. So it's also a lighthearted energy. So there is something to be said for being lighthearted, being fun, enjoying, rolling with it, and not taking things too seriously. So that is what I have for you guys for the month of December. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about what next actions should I take to be blessed, as well as one about the beginning of 2025. So if you want a glimpse into the year ahead, that's a great one to watch. But there are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. And you also get early and ad-free access to my YouTube videos. So you get to be the first to see my YouTube videos over on Patreon. If that sounds good to you and you would like to sign up, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, whether you want me to do tarot, astrology, just some channeling for you, or a combination, you get to really customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a time slot with me. And yeah, I would love to do a reading for you. But thanks for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Eight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Princess of Pentacles, aka the Page of Pentacles, reversed, the High Priestess, and the High Priest, aka the Hierophant. So for some of you guys, there could be a real focus this month on moving away from kind of the rational, the logical, and focusing more on your intuition. You may find yourself very intuitive in the month of December. You may be having prophetic dreams or visions. You may feel called to pick up a tarot deck or get into some astrology. I'm hearing astrocartography for some of you guys, so maybe figuring out where you should move, or if you're wanting to relocate or your next vacation, looking at that on an astrological map. I do see air travel for some of you guys in the month of December with that Eight of Wands coming in, and an issue that may have been delayed or may have felt like it wasn't really moving forward may come to a very fast ending in the month of December. So anything you have been waiting to hear about, it may get resolved in the month of December, and I do feel like there's a positive outcome for a lot of you guys. I also feel like if you've been working a lot, if you've been focused a lot on your job or on business or even like physical realities, like maybe you've been working out a lot or you've been spending a lot of time at the gym or just being very disciplined, there may be a move away from that this month, away from kind of like setting these rigid goals and maybe existing in that space that's a little bit more intuitive, a little more gentle, a little more peaceful. The High Priestess card is ruled by Cancer, the moon in astrology. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, there may be a call to spend more time at home, relaxing, resting. The High Priest is connected with Taurus. So those Cancer and Taurus are both homebody energies that love to be in their nice little bed. They love to be comfortable. They love to have like their pillows around them and the nice sheets and maybe the luxury satin bedspread or whatever. So for some of you guys, you may be even splurging about around the home, redecorating, going out and buying yourself some things. But I do feel like there's an energy around getting into some peace and quiet. And if you have been really pushing yourself to the limit or not listening to your body in any way, I feel like you're stepping away from that, pulling back and trying to find more balance in your life and allowing yourself, like I said, to exist in that really intuitive space. Also with the High Priestess, again, connected through with Cancer, a very creative energy. Some of you guys may be feeling called to start creative projects or continue a creative project, like a creative hobby, be it painting, be it writing. I'm hearing dancing for some of you guys, or making music, pottery, whatever the case may be. You may really be super creative this month, and I feel like your ideas can be very fruitful. I also feel like this is a great month for you to just be kind of brainstorming, thinking, planning. It's almost like you're going to get a peaceful month, a little bit of a rest. This is a great month for you to kind of hibernate, stay at home, cook, relax, watch some TV, watch some maybe Christmas movies or whatever, and just kind of restore your energy, get your energy back. But there's definitely a heavy emphasis on the spiritual in the month of December for you guys with the High Priestess and the Hierophant, the High Priest coming out. You're feeling very connected to the divine. So if this is a month that you've been considering doing a full or new moon ritual, or contacting your ancestors, contacting some kind of deity, making an altar, writing in any kind of manifestation journal, I feel like this would be an excellent month for you to do that. And you may also, like I said, just feel called to kind of stay at home and rest, not be as out in the world doing things. I also feel like Spirit is saying that it's almost like you're in that process of building, and don't feel like you're not productive just because you are staying at home or just because you're not moving forward directly on a project. It's almost like you're in that gestation period where, like, maybe a woman is pregnant, but she doesn't have the baby yet, but she has the baby's inside her, it's growing, it's not ready to come out yet, but things are happening behind the scenes. And I feel like there's a message with that for you guys, where there's something maybe that you're working on that it's still in the development process, and Spirit is just saying to be patient with yourself, to be calm with yourself, to give yourself the time to maybe brainstorm or let those ideas come to you, and that's okay too. I want to get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 4. Let's see what's happening in the month of December for pile number 4. Okay, so we got conscious steps, considered action, looking forward, emotional desert, inactivity, isolation, your eternal spirit, higher self, sacred intuition, currents of emotion, uncontrolled feelings, and let's get Archangel Zadkiel, self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. So I'm also feeling the vibe that for a lot of you guys, you may be doing a lot of reminiscing at this time. You may really be looking back at the past and kind of like replaying memories, or just feeling super nostalgic. I feel like there's an energy of nostalgia surrounding you, and it's almost a little bit overwhelming this month. Like, it really, maybe you're visiting home, maybe you're spending time with family you haven't seen in a while. But I feel like you're really looking back to the past, which is funny because, again, with Cancer energy, Cancer is actually ruled by, or Cancer does, the moon rules our memory in astrology. That's why you don't look at your moon side every month. You look at your ascendant and you look at your sun sign, but the moon is actually the past. So that's why we don't look at it. But I do feel like for you guys, there is this focus on kind of going back to the past in order to create your future, in order to see what's going on with your future. So again, I feel like Spirit is really calling on you to kind of have some of this compassion for yourself and acceptance for yourself, and understand that if there's a time when you need to be processing, grieving, or even taking a step back from work, that doesn't necessarily mean that anything bad is going on. I feel like a lot of you guys may be going through some deep emotional development, maybe even some shadow work, maybe processing things from your past. And I feel like this time is very valuable and very useful. And because you're doing so much work on the astral plane, you may feel like you are a little exhausted, or you need extra sleep, or you need extra rest at this time, maybe even that you need to eat a little bit more. And either way, I do feel like that none of that is a bad thing. And I feel like Spirit is really calling on you to be compassionate with yourself. Zadkiel actually deals with compassion and forgiveness of yourself and other people as well. So you may even be doing some reflecting on things like that, or thinking about things that happened to you and kind of processing them and releasing them. I feel like Spirit is just calling on you that they really want you to be gentle with yourself in the month of December and not push yourself too hard or try to have this really high standard for yourself. I feel like December is going to be an emotional month for you. It may feel a little draining at times. It may just feel like a lot of things are coming up. And keeping in mind, collectively, we are going through this major transition as Pluto shifts into Aquarius. This is such a huge transit that only happens every 15 to 20 years. So it's not something that we're used to dealing with, feeling this huge shift in astrological energy. It's really, really massive. So just know that, like I said, if you guys are feeling a little off, or things have changed, or your emotions are heightened, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And you very well may have placements in the latter half of, or the latter last few degrees of a cardinal sign, or placements in the very early degrees of the fixed sign. So like Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio. Yeah, I think I named all of them. So definitely be gentle with yourself if you are feeling any of those things. If you have placements like that and you're feeling like you just need to take a little bit of a break or a pause, then that is okay. You may be processing this change because it's hitting you directly at this time. And by the way, the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So if you have any of those placements, again, last degrees of cardinal, early degrees of fixed signs, you are going to be feeling this extremely strongly. And I just feel like you guys are processing this for the collective. You're processing some kind of major change. There are emotions coming up, and that's okay. I feel like Spirit is also calling on you to be considerate with your actions and not to rush into anything. With this considered action card, and then combined with the Eight of Wands, something that you may feel like is very delayed, like it may happen really fast at the end. Sometimes it's like you think nothing is moving forward, or something is really stuck, and then it ends up just breaking through at the end. Like someone was describing this with cooking something. I think they were frying onions for the top of a green bean casserole, and it popped up on my TikTok because of course I'm excited for Thanksgiving and kind of coming up with like cooking recipes. So I did watch it, and they said, it's so wild watching the onions cook, because they could be cooking for an hour, nothing happens, and then suddenly something shifts with the cooking, and you can just tell they're ready, and you have like less than a minute to get them out of the oil. And I feel like that's so true for so many things in life. Like something may seem like it's not moving forward at all, like it's super stagnant or stuck, but trust and believe there are processes happening behind the scenes, and at the last moment things may move forward. So again, give yourself that space. Don't think that just because nothing is happening that the situation is totally stagnant and it's pointless, and don't be down in the dumps about any of that. I do feel like you guys may feel a little isolated this month, or just feel the need to go into hermit mode and spend time by yourself. It may just not feel like the month when you're up to like being super social around everyone. Maybe for some of you guys, there are important emotions coming up that you do need to process. It's always worth examining those emotions, seeing how you feel, and really, again, taking the time to honor them, not just dismissing them, keeping in mind that in tarot, the sign or the element that rules over our intuition is also the element that rules over our emotions. So that would be cups, of course, water. And so water signs are known for being very intuitive, but also emotional. And that's because those things are very tied together. You really can't separate one from another. And sometimes that's how spirit communicates to us, when someone just always makes us angry, or someone really makes us sad, or someone really upsets us every time, or someone makes us feel amazing. Those can be incredible indicators, like a compass pointing in either the right or the wrong direction, showing us what path we're on. So definitely pay attention and listen to the emotions that come up for you. Give yourself the time and the space to listen, because again, I feel like you're very intuitive at this time, and I almost feel like spirit wants me to validate you and just let you know, like, you're not crazy. The things you're thinking of aren't crazy. And actually, I feel like you guys are very, very intuitive, and you're picking up on something very, very deep. So don't just dismiss it out of hand, or think, oh, I'm just being emotional, or I don't know, I'm just being too sensitive, or anything like that. No, that is not the case. And I feel like this month in December, your intuition is super, super on point. So pay attention to everything that comes up. Pay attention to how you feel, and just give yourself the space to process it, whether it's meditating every morning, whether it's just closing your eyes and feeling your body as you're going to sleep, whether it's doing a guided meditation or just sitting in silence, stillness, just pulling tarot cards, whatever you have to do to give yourself that little time to just relax, feel your body, feel your energy. It's going to be so important. And when you do that, you may feel an emotional purge. You may start to cry. You may feel like you are just overwhelmed with emotions at first. And trust me, that's a good thing, because I feel like this release of emotions is very necessary. And again, spirit is wanting to talk to you, communicate to you. So there's nothing bad about any emotions that come up. Let me get into some more tarot cards for you. Pile number 4. So we want to know what's happening for pile 4 in the month of December. What's happening for pile 4 in the month of December? So we got the 3 of Pentacles, okay? This one is the World card, wow. The 8 of Pentacles, okay. And the Emperor card coming out, okay. So some of you guys may also be dealing with a very powerful male as well, or a powerful boss. It may be as well having to navigate or negotiate dealing with someone who doesn't have a whole lot of respect for your emotions. The Emperor can be very kind of cut and dry, a little bit selfish, a little bit self-focused, to the detriment of others. They may not be that person. I mean, they probably aren't that person who's super empathetic, super calm, super open to how other people feel. They're kind of more into their own view of things and getting their own way. So sometimes when we get the Emperor card, it is dealing with that person that we may just have to accept that there's no getting through to them. There's no getting past whatever they're thinking or how they're feeling. There's no kind of reconciling them to our point of view, and we just have to accept that and kind of like take it as what it is. So like sometimes it's about accepting someone for this is all they have to offer. They may not have the emotional complexity or depth that I want, and let me either decide to engage in this relationship or not, because you're probably not going to change someone with an Emperor card energy about them. I feel like for you, this energy is almost about pulling your energy back to focus more on yourself instead of trying to make someone else like you, agree with you, see your perspective. It's realizing that you are an individual soul and you are on your own journey and things. And while yes, with the 3 of Pentacles, we can be cooperative, we can learn from someone, I also feel like, you know, there is that reminder, the Emperor card being ruled by Aries, that we are individuals in this. We are going through life on our own terms with our own goals. And it's okay to remember that. And it's okay to honor yourself as an individual soul and an individual person. And also, I don't know who needs to hear that, but there's some reminder about other people don't really their opinions don't really dictate who you are. You are this special, beautiful soul all on your own. And even if someone doesn't see that, that's more of a reflection on them or what they're capable of seeing, their vision, than it is on you. So maybe that issue is going to come up for you in the month of December. But I do feel like you guys, someone out there needed to hear that even if someone has a weird opinion of you, even if someone has something rude to say or doesn't treat you in a way that you find respectful, that has no indication on your self-worth or your own individual power. I feel like, again, there's that heavy emphasis on creativity this month, creative projects. For some of you guys, you may be learning a totally new subject, signing up for like a course, signing up for some kind of higher education, higher learning, going back to school, that kind of a thing, with the Three of Pentacles coming out and the Eight of Pentacles. And there's also that message that you are moving forward with your career. And again, you may feel all the time like you have to just put in so much work, give your all. But with all these cards combined, I feel like there's a message about maybe even pulling your energy back a little bit. Like you don't necessarily have to work as hard as you have been working. And it's okay to kind of take a pause, take things easy, chill, pull your energy back and not give your all. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we can be selective with our energy, and it's not to say being lazy, but it is to say if you're that person that's like staying at the office way after dark, not getting paid for those hours or times, or you are trying to constantly, maybe in the opposite direction, cook a 5-course meal for your partner every night, or you're trying to make sure your friends have the best Friendsgiving and like invite them over for every course and just make it perfect, that sometimes it's okay to just dial your energy back, and that's probably going to be good enough. It's okay to also look after yourself. And of course, if you love to cook and you're just like, yeah, I love cooking the 5-course meals every night, it's fun, it's creative for me, then totally, God bless, and keep doing it. But if you're like doing it out of a sense of obligation or feeling like you have to, I feel like Spirit is saying for you to just kind of rest, relax, pause, and like I said, collect your energy, because I feel like Spirit is also kind of saying there's a message for some of you guys who picked this pile where you may have a bigger project or you may have some bigger life mission, and maybe the thing you're doing now isn't as fulfilling to that mission as you would like it to be. And I feel like Spirit is saying that that's perfectly valid for you to feel that way. You don't have to explain yourself. There's a really heavy message with people in this pile sometimes doubting like your own intuition, or doubting your feelings, or explaining away your feelings, or maybe even in an extreme case, blowing past certain red flags, like seeing a red flag, but then being like, no, but I don't know, maybe it's okay, and this person didn't mean it. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you do not have to do that. And actually, I feel like Spirit really wants you to listen to yourself and realize how correct you are. It reminds me, like I said, how I had this glitch in my emails. So I've had all these old emails pop up from like years ago, and I was emailing myself random stuff, not always on purpose. There was some error with my text where they would always ping through to my email. Anyway, so I have come across all these like old emails and kind of recollected on different relationships or friendships, whatever. And it's funny because every time that I would like have an issue with someone, or I could see, oh, I was arguing with that person in the text, or we were having this issue at the time, or I would write like a note to myself and it would ping through to my email about how I felt about a certain situation. Those feelings never changed. It's just like I would suppress them. And the other person didn't change either. All the time that I would maybe waste to trying to argue with someone or get them to see my perspective, it really was pretty fruitless. And at the end of the day, all the things that I would think, well, that's really unfair, then I'd go back on myself and say, no, it's not really unfair, or, oh, I didn't mean it like that, or, well, it's not a big deal, you're overreacting. And now with time, I'm like, I definitely was not overreacting. And I feel like so many of us do that about so many different situations. It's almost like it's easier to doubt or question ourselves than to act from that place of authority and really just call out like, no, that is unacceptable, and then do something about it. So I just feel like someone here needs to know that message, that you do not have to question yourself. And actually, I feel like Spirit is really calling on you to listen to that inner voice, listen to how you feel, honor that, pay attention to that. It is valuable, it is special, it is important, and you deserve to have a happy, beautiful life and not be super super stressed out. Let me get into some more cards for you. Pile number 4. Let's see what messages we're gonna get. So we got the Seas of Mintaka, sorry. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to life. This one says, fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Earthed, learning how to be human, in the world but not of it. And finally, lost lands, soul memories, and gifts. You've done this before. Why is this not focusing? So strange. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus on this card, but anyway. Oh, okay, here we go. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. So yeah, some of you guys may even be dealing with heavy South Node stuff because you may be feeling heavy or kind of like tired and exhausted because of that. Whenever we're dealing with like traumas or issues from our past lives, that's often when we really will feel that heaviness. We really will feel exhausted, depleted because of the intensity of that for us. I do feel like you guys are really pushing yourself through. You're going through an immense period of spiritual and soul growth, and you're doing a lot of work. I also feel like for some of you guys, you're just getting creative, massive creative downloads that may come into play later in life. Like, again, you may be dreaming up a project that's not ready to be fully launched right now, but trust me, in the future it will be. So again, if you need some rest, if you need some calm, then definitely honor that in yourself. Allow yourself to have that moment. Just because you are in a certain situation, I think this card talks about it really well. Learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Just because you're in a certain situation doesn't mean you're defined by it. So like I said, if you have that toxic boss that always says you're lazy or says something rude to you or doesn't treat you well, that doesn't mean that's actually who you are and you deserve to be treated that way. If you are in a really high pressure job and you feel like you're never doing enough, again, that doesn't actually mean you're not good enough. If you are in a relationship and the person just doesn't speak your love language and you don't really feel loved by them, that doesn't mean that's all you deserve. So again, I think it's really important to think critically. This is where meditation can come in, just being in touch with your intuition. So you know your worth, you know what you deserve, you know how you like to be honored, how you like to feel, how you feel in your resting state when you're not stressed out or dealing with anyone else's energy. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys are growing a lot this month. It is a little bit of a high pressure month for you guys, but there's also lots of opportunities for rest, relaxation, and kind of just collecting your energy back and enjoying that. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 4. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about what next actions I should take to be blessed, as well as a glimpse into early 2025 for you. So what is your next year going to be like? We're going to be getting into all of that. If you want a glimpse into the new year, that's a great one to watch. But like I said, there's so many readings over on Patreon, and you also get early access to my YouTube videos. So you get to be the first to watch those. If that sounds good and you want to join me over there, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be tarot-focused, astrology, just some channeling, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and I would love to do a reading for you. So thanks for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.